Welcome to the Reunion Podcast, where traction, nourishment, and thriving in business and life come full circle. We're your hosts, the founders of Reunion, and each week we're going to sit down with incredible entrepreneurs from our community to shine a light on their stories, the bold moves that create real traction, and the raw truth behind their challenges and wins. If you're ready to be inspired, grow alongside a powerful network, and see what it really takes to thrive, you're in the right place. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, head to thrivewithreunion.com to join the movement. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. All the links are in the show notes. Now let's dive in. Hi, welcome to today's podcast. Today we have a very special guest. Janae Moss is here with us today. We're so grateful that you took the time to come sit and hang out with us.
Thanks, I'm excited. This is like hanging out with friends. So.
Well, and you're usually on the other side of this because you have a podcast, right, with your daughters?
Yeah, we just started Effervescent Podcast. I think we've recorded 30 episodes and probably aired 6 or 7. And I'm learning, just like you, I'm just getting going. But it's fun.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean, effervescent?
There's the definition that you can find in the book, which is like bubbly drink or something weird. But I have my own definition of effervescent is, I think for me, it's like full living and putting your passion into everything that you do. So we say effervescent, a full circle approach to health. So we talk about body, mind, and soul. Because so often, we just tend to gravitate towards one or the other. And because I study performance psychology, I kind of focus on mind. And then my other daughter's she does yoga retreats in Costa Rica, so she focuses on soul. And then Brighton, she focuses more on body because she's a personal trainer. So it's just fun.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's a great description of you. You're somebody who's lives life to the fullest. Every time I love spending time with you because your light is just so bright. And I feel like you just have this air about you that people are like, I want to sit and chat with Janae and get to know Janae and be your friend.
You. That's so nice. This has been so fun to be part of Reunion because all 3 of you I've known for a long time, but how often do you get a chance to sit and talk and even talk deeply about things, not just like, hey, good to see you, and or you comment on a post online. It's great to be together, so I love it.
We're honored that you've joined us.
Well, it's been so
We know
fun.
you have a million things going on with podcast and kids and business and all the things, and we just feel honored that you take the time to be part of our group. And I just hit my microphone totally.
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
banned.
You're fired.
And everything's timing, right? Because there's definitely years in my life where I didn't have time to do extra things, and there's times when it's perfect, and right now it's perfect. So,
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. So let's talk a little bit. I mean, you've had an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I mean, if people from the outside would kind of guess, like, oh, you guys, the Mosses have it all figured out. It's like, look how successful, look at all the business stuff.
Podcasts are cool because I can hear how untrue that is.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So maybe just give a quick little rundown of what your life has been like over the last several years, and maybe kind of get people up to speed that maybe aren't familiar with what's going on.
Get to know you.
How far back does that go? The past several years. I'm old now, so to me that's like 5 decades.
However far back you want to go.
You're just barely 50, right?
I started at 3rd grade.
I'll be
when
50
we did
in
mine,
September.
You're just getting started, sister.
You started where?
3rd grade. I started from 3rd grade.
Oh, you went way back. Well,
He brought out his transcripts from junior high.
Well, if I shared those.
He brought his he put his Letterman jacket on.
Yeah, that's right.
He was showing.
He's
He
kidding.
brought out
I'm like, you're like my dad, where
He's
I'm
a
like,
comedian.
I know
You
some
never
of it's
really
true,
know.
but sometimes it is true, and that's what throws you off.
the little glued macaroni shells on that little thing that he did in 3rd grade. It was like super.
The Mother's Day
impressive.
card.
The Mother's Day card.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is some kind of interesting things that go on in junior high in the way that even in high school, when I went to graduate high school, my counselor sat down with me and pulled out my transcripts, and pulled out his glasses, and he said, I'm genuinely concerned about Janae's ability to function in the future. And he looked at me, and I started dying laughing. And he goes, no, I'm serious. He said, your 5th grade teacher wrote that.
Wow.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, I remember spitting
about a
spitwads and
10-year-old.
talking, but this is the same guy that put me in the corner and had me open my mouth for 15 minutes at a time because I wouldn't stop talking. Anyway, I guess I just bring that up to
That's a
say.
whole podcast conversation.
That's a thing.
The only reason I bring it up is we all grow up and have these different parts of us, and I am quirky and I am talkative and I love people and I'm passionate about whatever I do. And so now that's why I think it's funny that I'm trying to get, my doctorate, because it's almost like a throwback to oh yeah, I can't function in life, but let me just try to go as far as I can, you know. So I don't know. Okay, so backing up. I will start, I think, with my story when I met John, because it really, when we met, it really did set us on a trajectory and life path that we have learned so much together through. I left high school, said, bye, Mom and Dad, I'm leaving tomorrow. And they said, okay, love you. I was very independent, got in the car with my cousin and came to UVCC at the time. And I met John right in my first class, 8 in the morning math class. He taught me how to drop the class, and I did 3 times total after that. And, but he walked up to me and he said, hey, do you want to go water skiing? And I'd never talked to him before. I remember him sleeping in the back of class like every time. And I said, sure, what's your name? And that was it. We went water skiing. And at first I thought he was spoiled because he drove this nice truck and like he had a business. And I found out later that he had a baby girl that he was up at night sometimes rocking her crib while he was trying to sleep, and then he'd go do his landscaping business that he'd been building since he was 8 years old. And so I realized really quick, he's not spoiled. This guy works his guts out, and he has from as soon as he could. He used to even hire his older friends to drive him around the neighborhood to pull like his lawn supplies and stuff so he could do the lawn.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And when I met him, he was focusing on retaining walls. And I would go help him run the backhoe and shovel dirt and all those kind of things just to hang out. It was fun for me. And I caught that entrepreneurial spirit. Like, my family's all in education, family of origin, and I love education. But I was like, oh, this is so fun, meeting people and doing the bids and figuring out how you want to grow your business. And so I dove in, and eventually we were married, and he got a misfilled prescription, so wrong medicine in the right bottle, and he got really sick. And so long story short, we lost that first landscaping business, and we, I think, personally owed $400,000 in debt, and I was 21, I think, when this happened, barely 21. And we had bill collectors hanging out on our doorstep and calling all day, and they'd eat lunch and just hang out together. And really quick, I learned what it meant to just not know where to go to get resources for my kids or for my family. I needed food help for our littlest kids. And so I remember looking in the Yellow Pages. You remember Yellow Pages?
Yeah.
And I remember looking I don't even know what I looked up, but somehow I figured out that I could get food stamps and WIC checks so I could get milk and cheese and stuff like that for our kids. And I remember it being so embarrassing to stand in line and have them type in like our food stamps and stuff. And I remember a guy behind me once saying, would you just hurry, and I'm like ready to cry because it's so embarrassing when you need help like that. And it was an amazingly horrible and awesome experience all at the same time because we went through all of that, we really dove into the side of community where we always wanted to be involved with United Way, always wanted to give back. And when we started building our other businesses, we're like, we will never go forward and build what we care about in business if we're not also building the community alongside of it.
And you've done more than your fair share of community building since then.
It's an awesome thing that adds.
It's a passion of yours, and you've done amazingly.
Thank you.
You've done a ton of that stuff.
Thanks.
Being on boards and donating time, if you're not passionate about it, then why would you? But since you have that background, I didn't know that story. I didn't know you guys had been through that time. That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, it was.
But you learn a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, when I'm in a different position, I'm going to be that person that is enabling other people to be able to have the resources that you had.
That's the cool part about challenges,
I would have never known that.
Well, it's like you said, so, the Mosses have it all figured out. And I love when people meet me and they go, what do you do? Because it's kind of confusing, right? I do wear the mom hat primarily, mostly building business from behind the scenes and strategy and, PR, just stuff like that. But at the heart of all of it is that we will build so that we can give back, because when we needed help, people showed up for us.
That's also cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So tell our listeners what business it is that you have now, that you've grown into this beautiful, bustling business, really.
Beautiful. Can we ever describe business as beautiful? Yes.
Sometimes. It doesn't last long, but.
Yeah, always ups and downs. Well, RBM Building Services is our flagship company, I would say. And over the years, we have acquired other businesses that aligned with our business. It wasn't that straightforward. I remember when we were young, we would kind of work in any business that sounded fun at the time. Like I had a handbag business, and we probably, once we added it up, and it's scary. So we weren't aligned, and we had a lot of fun. And then 2008 came around, and it was like, oh, we can't just put money into all these random businesses. We really have to be careful. And so at that time, we started acquiring. We have RBM Building Services is our main company, but because we serve commercial buildings, we try to offer any service really that they need for their business. So carpet cleaning, disaster cleanup company is another one. They're all different companies. So disaster cleanup is called Alpine Restoration, and our carpet cleaning company is called Double Take Carpet Cleaning Company.
So these are companies you purchased?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Under the
Well,
RBM
underneath the umbrella.
Yeah.
We started
that's what I
we
thought.
started Double Take. That's kind of a funny story because, and I will share it because I think it matters in this context. It was right before when 2008, when the economy was kind of crashing. We bought a sign truck business, like the ones you see in Vegas with the big sign trucks. We started driving around Provo, made everybody kind of mad. They didn't like them. And then everybody's budgets went down and nobody was paying for advertising anymore. So we're like, oh no, we have these leases on these trucks. And it was called Double Take because of the sign truck. And then we had to change them into carpet cleaning trucks just to keep our investment, not losing that.
Yeah.
So that's why our carpet cleaning is called that. And then we have a landscaping and snow removal company that's called TruCo Services. And then we have some other smaller kind of businesses, but yeah, they all align.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So in the course of that time, I mean, you talked a little bit about your personal, the hardships that you guys went through as a family or starting out. Are there certain times in the course of your business where there were times where if somebody from the outside would look at that and say, I don't know if they're going to make it through that? Like those are some hard, because most businesses have these ups and downs. Can you think back on key times where it might have been easier just to tap out and just like, you know what, I think we're just out of this. Or but what you did is you just move forward through it. Can you think of some different examples of that in your course of time?
Yeah, I'm like, it's always easier to tap out. Like, not even key times, but it's kind of like, it takes that no backdoor policy where it's just kind of like, you go forward, it's not even an option because it's always going to be a draw if you think about it too much to check out, really. 2008, of course, was a time when we're just like, can we pull out of this? And we did. We were stronger because we got smarter. I would say for sure COVID was a big deal for us because, John, and I have to say, we have a huge team of people that run all the companies. I don't even have anything to do with it now other than, banks and lawyers and kind of the risk side of the business, but I'm not in the business every day. It's John and I deciding that we're going to take this risk over and over each day and how we want to do that. But during COVID, it was an interesting time because we cleaned commercial buildings and you have all these people mass exit from the commercial buildings. And John, like I said, is really good at looking ahead in the team, and they decided, okay, how can we keep income when we're not going to have our buildings as full and we're not going to have as much to clean? And so they figured out that they needed to get sanitization. Is that a word, sanitization?
Yeah.
It always sounds weird to me every time I say it. But the spray guns that sanitizing all the hard surfaces and everything. So that did take time, and it had a cost to it. So even though we weren't cleaning as many square feet, we were having products that we were quickly adding to make up for the loss in other ways. We ordered truckloads, diesel full of toilet paper and all those kind of things that people weren't able to have. We had to do that to stay in business. We needed it for the buildings and we needed it just to stay in business. So yeah, that was another time that we could have been like, we're out, we can't do it, it's too big. But the shifting just has to happen quickly to make it work.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I can keep going if you want me to.
Other
Like, there's
examples of
lots
that?
times.
Well, I
Yeah,
know for
lots
me,
of
like you have,
examples.
what, 3,000 employees?
I think I don't have, exact number, but I think it's high 2,000s, almost 3,000. If I have somebody here on my team that's like, you're wrong, Janae, I'm sorry. That would be with all of the companies together.
I mean, my high number is 75 employees. And I just remember like looking across, the office and seeing, and there's moments where you're like, I feel responsible, right?
Oh, yeah.
That all these families rely on me in some way, and I do rely on them too. And the stress and the worry that brings. So I would imagine with that many employees, like that just exuberates, right? The stress and the
Absolutely.
worry, and the excitement that you have too, that you get to do that.
Yeah, I remember when we first, because we bought the company, I remember there were 10 people at the Christmas dinner, and now we have 800, and that's just with main management and plus one. And looking out at, we fill the fairgrounds building upstairs and downstairs, and round tables, we are smashed in there, and it is overwhelming to see all these people that to me are like family, work family, and to know how hard they're working. COVID was the first time we really started hearing thank yous to the janitors in the building. Janitors are usually like, oh, the janitor stole it, or oh, that's that weird guy. They don't get the respect really that they deserve for cleaning up honestly crap. Like every day we make messes and they're in there doing the hard work. And when I look at the people that fill the fairground building, and just look at knowing their passion and knowing what they give and sacrifice every day, I'm overwhelmed. And it's a huge responsibility, like you said. John and I, prayer is a big thing that we have implemented and used a long time ago, just to try to keep going under that pressure, because it is. That if you do something that could take the company down, you're affecting not just your family, but a lot of families.
So many
Yeah.
families. I love to hear that came out of COVID, that people are like high-fiving the janitors and like very few good things you hear coming out of COVID,
Yeah.
but I love that you shared that.
Yeah.
I love that you love your employees. I know you love your family. I want to shift gears a little bit and go to
Yeah.
family. So you have a lot of people. We saw a family picture recently
Yeah.
that you showed us. There's a lot of people. You have all these children, and they are married and they have kids. And tell us a little bit about your family. I know that you're going to just be a different motives as you talk about your kids. I know you're so involved in their lives, and I'm sure they love it as much as you do.
Yeah, I really don't ask me their ages. They keep changing, so I can't
I know,
remember.
every year. Zach, just add another
That
one.
keeps happening.
You can start at the oldest and
Yeah.
go to the youngest, but yeah.
There was once I tried to check out one of my kids, and I called the school, and I said, well, they're in 8th grade, and I told them their name. They said, we don't have an 8th grader named that. And I was like, they
Ninth
must be in
grade.
9th grade
close.
now. Sorry. They're like, literally, I had to try 3 times before.
Call the high school.
Yeah.
You called the junior high.
They were not almost like scared to check the kid out at this point,
Yeah.
because they were
Is
sure.
this
that-
really the mother?
Yeah.
This is your mom.
How many kids do you have? I don't even know the answer.
Yeah, so I have a stepdaughter. When I met John,
Right.
forever ago, he had darling little girl, Sydney, and she has 4 babies. They live in Texas, so I'm grandma, bonus grandma. They have a lot of grandmas, but oh my gosh, being a grandparent is the best.
It
And
is.
you just recently.
It is, yeah.
The best.
So
Jess
much
has
fun.
grandkids.
Do you as well? Do you both?
No, I don't.
Not yet,
No,
but Jess does.
Jess
I do.
does.
I have 5.
Yeah,
It's the best.
they're so fun. So that's Sydney and Bryant, and they're in Texas. And then John and I had 5 girls after that. So it's like, have our Sydney, and then we have Kinley, Whitney, Brighton, Ella, Hallie, and they're all of our girls in a row. And then we adopted little Jordan at the end. We're like, we're not trying to get in the traditional way, so we're going to buy one. So that's what we did at the end.
They were little boys.
love that.
So Kinley's here in Provo. Like I said, she does Costa Rica retreats with yoga, healing retreats. Whitney just started a business called Western Wit. So she actually makes these bolos that I wore today. They're the cutest, and she's in production, almost ready to sell. But
Cool.
they're because she has all different stones. I love them. They're so cute. And then Brighton, she had the Brighten Your Day podcast, and she is my kid that is passionately shares her voice. So she built the podcast, and now has kind of a spin-off where she's sharing kind of latest things going on with AI and everything, how it affects her generation and learning from people. Didn't she interview you?
Yep.
Yeah, so cool. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, that was fun.
So that's
Does she also have a
Brighton.
jewelry company?
She did at one time,
Okay.
and she shifted to this area. So
I'm still getting ads for Brighton jewelry for like the
You are?
the bees and they're having like a 4th of July sale for some
that might be somebody else.
jewelry.
Brighton Jewelry is actually a big deal. Like,
Oh.
I think it's a different
One?
Yeah,
Oh, I
but
thought
she
it was
did
hers.
for a minute.
I bought some bees, and I was like, I'm supporting a friend here, so
Yeah.
I thought it was her.
Maybe the wrong friend.
Expensive.
I know. Well,
Give it to her.
You're just
Yeah.
raising all these little entrepreneurs.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
she
all
is.
are. And then Ella is next. She's at Utah State, and she did equine therapy for a while. Then she decided, I love to take care of the horses, but I want to travel, so she switched to business, and she has minor of the equine sciences. And then Hallie just was accepted to University of Utah, and she was accepted into this community building dorms. I'm not sure what it's called. I should know, but that's so cool. She worked on Boulder Way Forward with Dr. Susan Madsen for girls her age, and so I think that's the reason she was able to get into that. And then Jordan, he is big into military and serving the country, and I don't know which avenue he'll go down, but that's what he
And
loves.
he's 16.
He's going to be a junior, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he's 16. Good job.
Yeah.
But that's
Cool.
all kids.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Finally got your boy.
I know it, and he is boy. I remember thinking like, oh, boys, they're so chill, and like this will be so easy. And then I remember like, here's Jordan. I'm like, no, they have hormones too.
Yeah.
They're just different. They just
They
show
just
them
jump off
different.
the back of the couch like Superman, right?
Yeah.
Girls, none of my girls ever did that. But when
Yeah.
my son
No,
did
they're-
that, I was like, what are we
They're
doing
very
now?
different. Yeah. Why are we trying to kill each other?
Yeah.
How do they actually
Yeah.
make it to adulthood?
Yeah.
These boys, like they do the stupidest stuff,
They
Yeah,
definitely do.
he's awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that about your family. What I think is interesting is that you and your husband have worked together in the business for so many years. How do you find the boundaries to make that work? Because so many people try to get in business with a spouse and they're like, this is not going to work. So have you found different things that have worked well for you, and different things you're like, oh, that we've set boundaries around this, and this is how we kind of structure it? And I imagine your family's kind of part of that too.
Yeah. It's been different for the different years. So I think we bought the business in 2004. I do know that. And at first I was like helping with receipts and all kind of the stuff that I felt like I could help with. I did that even before we bought that business, did that in the landscaping business. But, and really soon, even when we had not, a very big team, we realized this isn't going to work. We need to find a way so that we can support one another. I can primarily be mom because I wanted to, but also be a part of building the business. And so we always spent at least an hour to 2 hours every day strategizing. But what we decided is that I was going to serve in the community and serve on boards like United Way. I was on that board for like 11 years and then rolled off, and now I'm back on. But and then I was a chair of the Chamber of Commerce in Utah Valley, and just different ways I've served. It was a way that I could kind of be a face to a brand, but not be in the office, on a day-to-day. We could come home and be like, oh, I met this person, they're so cool. And, maybe this person would want to work with us, and it's just a cool way that we could support, but not be like head-to-head on major decisions every day that were the functioning of the business.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, it changed. I would say even now I do the same thing. Well, for a while I did lots of PR and trying to help that way. Now it really is my focus is school. I'm back in school, and primarily the way that I support is by supporting John so that he can, support in the ways that he can. So it's just different every year.
Tell us about going back to school. You had people don't go to school just to go to school. You had a desire to level up in performance psychology. You had another kind of coaching, or I can't remember the certification you got that. I wish I could remember. I should have had my notes.
Well, no, you're so good.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Well, like I said, I had a lot of people telling me that I wasn't a good student, and I wasn't. I dropped out of UVCC and and then.
Well, once you dropped
Well, you had
math
to go
class
water
3
skiing.
times,
Three times, and that was just math, So, I just stopped, and I'm like, maybe someday I'll go back. So when it was time, when I turned 40, I decided, okay, my kids are a little bit older, I want to go back. And I knew I wanted to go back to study performance psychology because we had worked with Dr. Craig Manning, and I loved to see what his work did, performance psychology, in our business and how people reacted to that. And so, and also, I have been building for, let's see, I'm not even sure what year it was. I've been building for like 20 years, 19, 20 years in the community parent leadership, so parent voice and supporting parents so that they know how to what their voice is and how to share it so they can represent their kids and stand up for them, and to have strengthening, I'd say, practices that they can do for their families. So I'd bring them together in circles, talk about all different kind of topics, and help them learn how to make change in their communities. So the reason performance psychology mattered to me is because I wanted to use that for the families, and I wanted to use it in business and with women leadership. Those are all my main reasons, and it really, you can apply it to anything. So I love it. Yeah. And
then you're in school again.
Yeah.
So you went, and then you got a degree, and you're back again. This next one is what?
Well, I went when I was 40. I had to finish my undergrad, and I took a year off. And then in COVID, I went back and got my master's in sport performance psychology. Took a year off, and then now I'm in my PhD program, and I'll be done next summer. And
it's performance psychology still, but just more of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've done coaching programs for fun that I love, and I'm also doing a dream studies part of my degree as well, because I love dreams for a lot of reasons. So that should finish about the same time as the PhD. It's at a different university. I sound crazy.
Oh,
it's just a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of stuff with all the people and all the businesses and all the employees that depend on your business. So you also have a training program that you just, a curriculum that you just put together. And I don't know if you made it specifically for the United Way, or if that just like happened to be like a really, really good match for your program. But tell us a little bit about that program, the curriculum and the book.
Yeah, thanks for asking. My partner in this is her name's Barbara Levitt, and we started an organization called Parents Driving Change. And we started working on this literally like 19 years ago. And even though I worked with Barbara in United Way, it wasn't made for United Way, but they are using it.
Yeah.
But it's curriculum that teaches families how to be strong. The reason I knew that was important is because it's like there's so many curriculums that are offered to families that parents don't want to take, right? It's like we're busy, we don't need another thing to do. But we did it through the lens of a children's story, which is a mountain goat named Eddie Be Steady. And it's all about him being clumsy and learning to be resilient. So with that book is a whole curriculum for parents about how they can teach the kids to be stronger and they can learn at the same time. And then there's an activity book. So that's hot off the press the past few months. So we're excited to start sharing that. And then we have another training that will be done in the fall that's parent leadership. So using performance psychology in families. And that's my biggest passion for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So other companies that might benefit from that, I mean, you and I were talking about this just yesterday, but other companies that might benefit from that would be like, what other massive companies might be a good benefit for that?
Yeah, so I want to use it.
What type of organizations?
Yeah, because it's for families, it's anywhere there's families. Primarily first we're using it in 3 different community centers where the parents will come and learn while their kids are at a summer program. So that's happening right now, actually next week. And then we've talked to like counseling centers that want to buy it for all their families, and counseling centers. We've talked to businesses that want to buy it for their employees so that the parents can feel stronger as they have tools to support their kids. Turnover is lower when the families are happier. So honestly, it's for anybody that sees benefit in supporting parents and families.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another passion project if she needed another passion project.
Yeah.
But
If I
something that's
remember
going
right,
well.
didn't you have a daughter that was struggling?
I mean, they all
suicide, like suicide ideation at one point. Didn't we
yeah.
go to lunch?
What did you say?
You and I went to lunch,
Uh-huh.
and I have a daughter who struggled with suicide ideation.
Uh-huh.
So I think we connected. Am I
Yeah.
remembering that? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I forgot that I remember that, but I forgot that that's kind of what initiated that. Yeah, and she actually talks about it, so I feel okay saying, and that was Brighton. And she started the Brighten Your Day podcast because she said, when I was younger, I struggled with finding the brightest parts of my life, and now I want to give that back to others.
I love
So
that.
it's beautiful. It's so cool to watch her struggle and then to find a way to give back. Yeah, so
Because it's such a lonely place as a mom, as a parent,
Yeah.
to be going through that. And I just remember we connected and went to lunch
Yeah.
and had that conversation. So
Yeah, it is. It's so hard because I remember thinking at that time, here I am, I work with United Way that literally connects families to resources. I'm connected in my community and my business, and I still don't even know where to go. I don't even
Yeah.
know what to do, and I have the connections. So how do we expect parents that aren't even necessarily out networking to know where to reach out and to look for help? So friendships like yours, I mean, that is a big deal, to reach out to somebody if you feel like they could use the support. So yeah, thank you for being that person.
It's a lonely place.
It's an island, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's how I know Binoy also, because he struggled with his son. And
Binoy's
so Matt knew
awesome.
I had that same story. So again, there was that connection. Yeah. And I think just sharing what you know.
Yeah. And you know what? The kids are helping each other. This is one thing that I learned from Hallie, you know, working with Boulder Way Forward. She was talking to some other girls her age recently, and she said, you know, it used to be that kids either didn't want to talk about it, or if they were open to it, they would talk to adults. And now, since COVID, what my kids have all seen is they're all relying on each other to be kind of therapists and helping them when they're struggling with suicidal ideation and things like that. So giving our kids tools to know how to handle that when their friend comes to them and is talking and they don't know how to handle it, it's really hard. It's a lot of pressure. Not only you could feel that way, but also what do I do if my friend comes to me and feels that way? It's important to talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing so much stuff. What would people not know about you? I mean, because you guys have so many different things that you're doing, so many things you're involved with. But what are some things that behind the scenes that people would be surprised to know about Janae and her family?
I'm trying to think.
He asked me that a minute ago. I didn't know what to tell him.
Hard.
I just was curious to see
like,
if there's anything that stands
Rough
out.
one. He pulled it out from behind the couch.
I just think it's like interesting, like behind the scenes, like there's something that, any interests or hobbies that you have that you're kind of, that are passion projects for you that are just for fun?
Just for fun. Okay, let's see. I used to play the violin fiddle when I was young, and I haven't for a long time, and I'm like on the verge of like pulling it back out and scaring everyone. Because if you when
Right
you
in the middle of
the,
her PhD. I don't know why she wouldn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you
More thing
play
to
the
do.
violin, it's either
That's
you're
awesome.
on or you're off,
Yeah.
and you're usually off, and especially when you're just starting. So I'm kind of scared, but I think because I'm going to Scotland soon, I like want to fiddle. I want to like pull that back
That'd
out.
be cool.
You know, not that people don't know that. I hate llamas. People know that. I'm trying
That's
to think
true.
of like what else is.
You hate llamas.
He has a very
Yeah.
Is there a
fierce hate
story?
for llamas.
Well, there's a lot of
They're scary, right? Llamas
They
are
scare
scary.
me. I'm not as scared of heights or normal things like that, but I'm scared of llamas.
He's scared of heights. You're scared of
That's
llamas.
the new question we're
Making
asking
notes.
everybody.
We're
What are you
taking
scared
Yeah,
of?
this is good to know.
Janae's scared of llamas.
When I was growing up, there was this llama farm by my parents' cabin, and every time we drove down the road, you know, they would see me and they would go like this, you know,
Just
and their
staring at you.
eyes like blink super big, and they like look into your soul. I'm serious. Next time you see a llama, like look at it, but really look at it, and you'll see they're like looking deep into your soul, and they freak me out. And if you look at them close, like they look like people kind of. So I always had this thing where I'm like, if I'm bad, I'm gonna turn into a llama. Like I just.
Your dad probably
This goes way back.
traumatized you when you were a baby.
Oh, my
Maybe.
dad just laughs. And so there was this one time I'm like, I'm going to make peace with the llama species. And I said this to John. We were looking at houses to buy. I said, I'm going to go make peace with the llama species.
You need
and
to
he's
buy
like,
one. You need to
whatever,
get one.
Janae, you're weird. And so I'm like, I walk up and I looked at the llama in the eye, and I'm no kidding. It went, and it went, and it spit all in my hair,
It
like
wasn't,
in my
it wasn't ready.
It wasn't.
wasn't
You were
ready
ready
to
to
be
make
friends.
peace.
It was. I'm not ready anymore.
It was not
That was
ready.
it.
That was your one shot.
That's it.
We're
It's
we're
over.
done here.
So that was it. They're just awful.
They could
So-
sense your disdain for them, even though you're
Yeah.
trying. They're like, she doesn't like me. I'm
She's
over
never
it."
going to like
Yeah,
me.
she's
I'm
never
not
like
even
me.
going to
You need to
pretend.
make sure of it.
And now, no, a twisted kind of fate. It's like people send me llama stuff all the time because they think of me. And recently they've been popular. Like llamas are like
Yeah.
everywhere.
I have a
Yeah.
daughter who loves llamas.
And
so
they
I'm
look
always
cute. Like when you look in like the cartoon drawings, they do not look like that. It is false advertising.
Yeah.
Don't fall into it.
Don't get
Anyway,
over it.
that's my what do people
That
not
is
really
very
know about
funny.
me.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good. That's helpful.
You're going to get more llama.
This episode is sponsored by Llamas Incorporated. so
I want to hear from you though. I've been talking the whole
No, this is
time.
about
so
you.
this is all about you.
This is get to know you. This is so. The whole idea of the podcast is to have members be able to watch it
yeah.
and resonate and go, oh my gosh, I
Hate
have that
llamas
same. I have that same disdain for llamas, or I have a passion for, charity, or I have passion for these things. We just want to understand, like, what makes you tick, what's keeping you up at night, what you're excited about, what kind of things you need help with.
Yeah.
I think as the group at Reunion, we've talked about this. It's just a wonderful collection of humans.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like walk in the room, and the whole idea is we were putting together this kind of membership of the people we wanted there. We thought when you walk in the room, you should feel like, I know these people, I love these people, I feel very comfortable with these people. Kind of like, I have a 30-year high school reunion on Saturday next week.
Oh, you're gonna have fun.
And I'm going back, and I'm gonna have some people that I don't remember who they are.
Yeah.
But other people, I'm gonna be like, hey, I know I haven't seen you in 30 years, but we can pick up right where we were,
Yep.
and we'll just continue the relationship from there. And that's kind of what people have said to us over and over again as they've come to reunion, is like, oh, these are my people, and I've missed this. And I think COVID kind of helped us in a way as we kind of distanced ourselves from connection to realize how much we needed connection,
Absolutely.
right? We have to have this human connection, or else life's just not that fulfilling.
Yeah.
And so when we bring this group of people together and we learn from each other and we serve each other and help each other, we just want to know how we can serve each other. What we're really bad at is, as humans, is asking for help. Most people are. Most people suck at asking for help. They're very, very willing to offer help, always. Like, I'm always happy to offer help. And then when I'm like chopping down a cherry tree that's this big around in my backyard, I asked no one for help, and I did it all with a handsaw. You know, I asked no one for help. And they're like, why didn't you ask me for help?
Yeah.
Because I suck at asking for help. So if the membership, as they're watching the podcast and getting to know the members and watching the Janae Moss episode, the inaugural episode, number 1, then they just want to know how they can help. They want to know, like, what is it that you need?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just somebody to talk to about, and maybe they have something going on in one of their children's lives that, you know, they'll want to have a conversation with you and Jess, and to know how you dealt with that,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes they'll have something to offer you, but then we need to know how.
Yeah.
So the idea is just to get to know you, not to get to know us every more. You know, we're going to be on this lots of times.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. You guys are
is there
awesome.
anything else that's just like you're so excited about, or you're so have anxiety about, something that's keeping you up at night, like you don't sleep because you're so either dreading it or excited about it? Maybe tell us about. I'll stop with that, and if there's nothing comes to mind, then we'll talk about upcoming travel.
Yeah, what keeps me up at night? I always get into these obsession, like ruminating cycles. It's fine. But for me right now, I love traveler's journals. I know this is so random, but I love recording things that I do, and when I travel, anyway, I spend a lot of time doing that, and I love it. I think that, as we've talked about my eyesight, of course,
Yeah.
we talked, I mean, I guess everybody won't know this on the podcast, but I'm losing my central vision. And so I'm always looking for ways to still enjoy what I love. So if that's travel journaling, you know, I have these glasses that I use that are like super little and ugly. I can't even wear the cute, like big reader glasses. They have to be really little so I can even blow it up. But that's important to me to wear the glasses because I don't want to stop writing and reading. Same thing as like music. I brought up, I'd love to pull out my violin again. I don't know if I can see the notes anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can't. So I'm gonna have to play by ear.
There's programs.
I grew up playing Suzuki actually, which is by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have to
There are
do that.
programs on your laptop where like
Uh-huh.
the music will cross the screen, and you can make it as big as you want. You just follow the notes as it crosses the screen. Like my daughter's taught herself to play the guitar and piano
Yeah.
from apps,
Isn't that amazing?
and she can play tons of stuff.
There's so many cool
So I would say look
resources.
into that and see if
Yeah.
that helps you with.
Screens
being
are
able to
like
see
kind
it.
of really hard for me, especially like I can't read like subtitles, any of the words, even if they're huge. It's the light that's the hardest for my eyes. So yeah. So anyway, what keeps me up at
We
night?
need
I'm
to
always
turn it
trying
down
to
up
figure
here for a
out.
minute. Turn
That's
down
okay.
our
I'll take a
our
nap later.
screen light.
It's fine.
Is that what it's going to do to you? It's going to throw you into a.
When I
a
podcast
little
every
trigger.
time, I'll have to like just lay down for a little bit because it's the rods and cones in my retina
Yeah.
that like struggle with the lighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always thinking about how do I keep moving forward and living my fullest, most vibrant life, and even though I have this thing that's making me be more creative.
Well, I've watched you over the last 5 years, and lots of stuff you've posted, and you're in all over the world, and you're traveling, and you're with your kids and living their dreams, and because they're chasing their dreams, and you're there enabling and helping them do that, that's more fun than even chasing our own dreams sometimes.
Oh, so fun.
Right? Because
Yeah.
you're seeing them in the places that they've dreamt of going to,
Yeah.
and you're part of that, and you're living to the fullest. So I really do look at that, and I'm very like, that's a great example for anybody who talks about dreams. We have like these goals in our life, and then we get stuck in like the day-to-day monotony of, and we forget what our dreams are sometimes.
Yeah.
But this whole like shift with your eyesight and stuff, I think has brought that back front and center for you. And you are living, like you're living your life right now. And I've been really impressed with that.
Yeah, thank you. It really does bring clarity. And I do try to spend time every morning. Your microphone's falling off.
Twice. Yeah.
I try to find time every morning to reflect and to journal, like I said, in my traveler's journals, and really be aware about what do I want and how I'm going to get there. And but I try to do it in a fun way, not pressure. I think that schedules can be pressuring where it's not fun anymore. So we were talking about schedules a little bit the other day, and I kind of time block like areas that I'm going to put certain things in, but I have to have a little freedom, or even times when I block out, I don't know what I'm doing these hours, but I'll figure it out when I get there, you know?
We've all traveled with that person.
Yeah.
That like 6 o'clock in the morning, they're like, hey, let's go. You're like, where are we going? Why are we going anywhere right now?
We have to get there.
We haven't done any, like we're sleeping still.
Yeah.
I have a brother-in-law like that. It's like every moment of the day, he's just go. And I'm like, we didn't even have fun. We saw everything. And we saw nothing at the same time. We didn't get to enjoy any of this stuff.
And he probably had a great time though, right?
Maybe.
See,
I don't know.
everybody does it differently.
I can't tell if he's having a great time or not, but I didn't. So we all know those people though.
We love you, brother-in-law, when you see the episode.
No. I'm sure he won't watch this. So we'll be fine.
We'll edit it.
He's on the end of our picture over on the
Stop.
We'll see if he sticks around.
It's good.
That's so funny.
This is good. This is awesome. Thanks for taking time to be
Thanks,
with us
Aaron.
and letting people get to know you a little bit better too.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
stuff.
You guys are awesome.
Any other final questions or thoughts?
I have a question for you. What is one thing that you wish more entrepreneurs would talk about?
Oh.
Because like you've been to all of our events, and especially the deep dives where it's like we're talking about stuff we didn't talk about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're such a multifaceted, like passionate entrepreneur yourself. So just being out there with all the entrepreneurs and all the boards and all the things that you do.
I think the most productive work comes from people when they are living from their authentic selves. So when you're able to show up, not that you have to tell your deepest, darkest secrets. Believe me, people think I share everything online. No, you haven't heard the juicy stuff, you know? It's like, but I try to bring the things that I can that are authentic to me, and without walls. Because people can fill the walls whether you mean to or not. And if you decide, okay, if you know who you are and you know where you want to go, and you try to live authentically and you try to show up in that way and share the things you're willing to share and open up and be accessible, other people can fill that. So if I were to give any advice, I would say just try to nobody cares what you're doing. Nobody gives a crap what you're doing. Everybody's thinking about themselves all the time. And so if you, I know it's natural to worry about what other people are thinking, but if you can just kind of go, nobody cares anyway, live authentically and share your vulnerable side, I think that the best things will be shared, whatever that is for that person.
I love that. Thank
So
you.
one, just a little piece of that too. I think a lot of people will be watching this. You'll have a lot of women business owners who often put maybe an unfair amount of pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
And they look at the standard of what's being done out there, and they kind of think, well, I've got to do all the things. And I think that maybe that's even more so than anybody else as a business owner.
Yeah.
Have you found ways of being able to get through that? And what advice would you give to someone who might be watching this thinking, well, of course she can do that, but like, what about me? Like, I'm falling short in so many parts of my life right now.
I could answer that in so many ways, but I will say it's natural to compare ourselves to others and to say, well, they're already doing it, so I'm not going to do it. You know, I mean, Jess and I both coach in different ways, executive. It doesn't mean that we both don't have value to add, right? It's like people are going to resonate with different people. We all have a voice, and so celebrating others is important, and I think that influences how you look at yourself, because if you don't feel good enough, that might be because I can't do all the things. It's because you're comparing yourself the way you would do it compared to how somebody else might do it. When somebody looks at Janae now, it's like, it's not going to look the same as it did when I was 21 or I was 25 or 26 with 7 little kids or whatever it was. I raised my niece for 5 years too. Like, you know, now all my kids are older and I have somebody help me clean my house. It's like, I couldn't afford that when I was beginning, but now I will look for other ways to kind of duplicate my time. If I can have help in one area, I'm going to be able to go to school over here. I couldn't have done that when I was younger, you know? And because we have a cleaning business, that helps a little bit too. But I would say look at your strengths, build on the things that you can do well, and don't compare yourself to others. because it stops you before you even get going.
That's so
Great
good.
advice.
Yeah, so good. I mean, too often people, especially with social media, you get people who see the perfect version of someone and they compare it to their imperfect version of themselves because they know what their holes are in themselves, but they compare it to this false version of people that they see online, and they're like, oh, that person has no mistakes and no holes in their process. But
Yeah, never come to my house at dinner time. Your never will be fed. You won't have food. You won't know where anything is. DoorDash once contacted me thinking we were a business contract. Literally.
Is it there all the time?
Because we order so often, they were sure I was a business. And I'm like, no, this is my family, and we order way too much. It's I have holes all over the place, you know. And it's okay because I'm strong in other areas. One of the coaching programs I studied in was StrengthsFinder by Gallup. And I love them particular because they focus on the strengths. Performance psychology tells us that if we focus on what we're good at, instead of trying to work on the things that we suck at the most, you're going to get further. So that's why I don't cook.
Yeah.
DoorDash does it.
love it. So good.
That was a new epiphany for people in those days because they're like, oh, if you're really good at this, then you should do this because you need to get better at that. No, lean in.
Yeah.
Absolutely lean in on what you're great at and let other people cook for you.
Yeah. It is kind of if I'm being really raw, I wish I was a better cook, and I value sitting with people and cooking and eating. So, but what was I going to say? With the StrengthsFinder and wanting to build your weaknesses, I think it's also interesting. One thing I learned that people want to say, what was my number 30 or 28, whatever, however many strengths. They want to see what their worst one was. I did, because I'm like, oh, what? But the funny thing is when I coach people, I would find that oftentimes your biggest weakness is also because of your strength. So for me, I'm woo number one. If you know what StrengthsFinder is, it's winning others over. I love people. I will drop anything to be with my people. And that's also why I suck at cooking, because I will drop anything for other people all the time, and I will forget every day that I wanted to cook something. So if you want to know what to look at your strengths and be oh, how is this maybe out of balance and taking over in my life in some ways that you want to work on. But anyway.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I know I just went off in a whole different.
I love it.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you being here.
Yeah, it's
You're
fun.
you're a good friend. I still think you're the coolest person in town.
Thanks, Matt. You're awesome.
I mean, just think the world of you. So
Your wife's awesome too. I talked with her for a while when she was starting her business, and she's so cool.
Yeah, she thinks the world of you as well. We just, I don't know how you do everything you do. I don't know why you're bringing on more stuff to do.
Some days you probably don't know how you do it either, right?
No, it's just a mess.
That's
It's
just
fine.
it's kind of crazy to just hear all the things you've got your hands in and looking for more apparently. So
Always.
living life to its
Yeah.
fullest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Thanks,
awesome.
you guys.
Yeah, thank you. And if people want to follow you, it's
Yeah.
how would they connect with you on social media? Is that the best way of seeing you and connecting with you? Or?
I mean, this is where I need help. If you're asking where I need help, I don't have time to worry about that too much right now until I'm writing a book or two, and it's eventually I'll need to advertise that, but I don't have. I'm starting a Substack called Moss on the Mind in a few weeks, so they can't really find me there yet.
And you have your podcast
But you're on
out
LinkedIn.
there.
I did start the podcast, yes.
and
So
you're on
that's
LinkedIn.
That's Effervescent Podcast. I am on LinkedIn. You can find me Janae Moss on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Thank you for helping remember what I do have.
Cool. You got it.
Well,
Yeah.
and by the time, we'll have all that in the show notes.
Yeah.
By the
okay.
time. So
Okay.
hopefully
Links
you're
to-
Moss on the Mind.
Links
You're,
to everything.
you're motivating me because I've been wanting to start Substack also.
Uh-huh.
So I'm ooh, I want to.
You're
Yeah, you
one of the
people
only newsletters that I actually get and I don't delete. So I know you're already doing one.
I am doing my own,
Yeah.
but I would love to branch out
Yeah.
to people outside of my
Yeah.
email subscriber list to Substack.
Yeah.
You guys all that write books, I have a hard time finding time to read a book. You guys are writing books. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, thanks again.
Yeah,
Good
thank
stuff.
you.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Reunion Podcast. We hope you're walking away with fresh insights, real stories, and that extra spark to keep building traction, nourishing your growth, and thriving big. If you've loved this conversation, hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to join the movement, come sit at our table and be featured as a guest and share your story. Visit thrivewithreunion.com and stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. You'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up, stay connected, and let's thrive together.